Hello guys, I welcome you all to my channel where we discuss international opportunities, where we discuss career growth, career development, where we discuss issues around migration and things that relate to that. Basically, we'll be talking about how you can actually build confidence in your interview. So, one of the things that you need to understand when going for an interview is it's not enough for you to get the answers to the questions that are being asked, but you want to be able to say things in such a way that exudes confidence, in a way that shows that you are actually confident. Because when you're confident, it makes the interviewer feels that yes, you can actually perform on the duty. So this is actually important. So the very first thing you need to work on, which is number one on my list, is on your voice. So when you are in your interview, one of those things you want to do is to be audible enough. When people talk, with this increased volume, it shows that they're actually confident. So that is the number one thing. So if you are being interviewed and you are answering question and your voice is just barely audible to people around, this might mean that you're being timid and you are not showing confidence. So one of those things you want to do is to ensure that you are, you increase your volume. So if from 1 to 10, you want to let your voice to be at number 5, number 6, 7. So you don't want to be talking to yourself. So this will mean that you are not confident. So that is the number one thing. So you might actually be saying the right thing, but when you are not, talking aloud, talking such that the interviewer is feeling your vibes, so this might mean that you're timid, and that might ruin your chances of getting the job. The number two thing is you want to maintain eye contact. This is very important. You might actually know what they are asking. You might be able to answer the question. But if you do not get that right, this gesture, your verbal, non-verbal expression, is very important in any interview, whether virtual or physical. You want to maintain eye contact. This also shows that you are confident. Another thing you don't want to do is to which is number 3. You want to ensure that you are, even though you're talking aloud, in the end of, like, when you are ending that statement, you bring it down. So this is how, for example, you say, I am this. So you not say, I am this. No. So you start it very up and you come down. Start it up and down. Because when you continue as up, then it will seem as if you're asking question. So tell us about yourself. I am so, like full stop. So this is how you actually want to say things in your interview. And this actually promotes or presents you as somebody who is confident. This is very important. You want to also ensure that you are maintaining eye contact. This is also very important. The number 3 thing is that you want to ensure that before going for your interview, you know exactly what the interviewer wants, what sort of candidate what sort of successful candidate do interviewer wants. So for example, if the interviewer states that in the job description that the successful candidate should be able to work as a team. So when you see such a like a description, it should tell you that you will be expecting a question around that, where they will ask you that tell us about a time where you have demonstrated working as a team. If they say at the end of the interview, the successful candidate should be the one that should be able to multitask. So you want to expect a question around that, where they will ask you that tell us about a time where you have shown multitasking. So these are the way you actually decode what sort of question you are even expecting. And this is important. So you want to digest your job description, and you can actually predict what question you will be expecting even before you enter into your interview. The next one, because the job description is actually a blueprint that detail what is expected in the role and all that. So you want to digest it. This is important. Another thing you want to do is spend at least 5 minutes researching about the company, researching about the organization, knowing what they do, knowing their latest activities, going to their website, to the About Us, their social media handle and all that. So this is important. The next one is you want to dress to impress the employer or the interviewer. When you show up for an interview and you just dress the way you want, it shows that you do not care about the job or you do not care about the interview. And this will actually send a message to the interviewer that you are not the right candidate. So one of those things you want to do, even though you just want to be sure that you are presenting well, you are dressing well to the interview. This is very, very key and important. So everybody knows that, so you dress well to the interview. This is important. This is, we cannot overemphasize the importance of you dressing well to your interview. Another thing you want to do, on my list here, is that you want to prepare for the first question that you will be asked. Most of the time, the very first question is, tell us about yourself. Can we meet you? Introduce yourself. These questions are the same. So you want to ensure that you have actually prepared an answer for that. I have, continuously emphasized the need for you to prepare minimum of a 2-minute introduction of yourself. This will set you on a good pedestal for success in the interview. Because when you do this, what it will do for you is that at least immediately that question is thrown, you are flowing. You are able to flow, and this is actually very, very key. So you want to ensure that you have actually prepared minimum of 2 minutes answer for the very first question you'll be asked. Another one on my list is that you want to do like a mock interview for yourself, using maybe your pal, your family member. You stand in front of them, you answer questions like, tell us about yourself, why should we hire you, what is your greatest weakness, why are you leaving the job, your current position, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, do you have any question? You try and rehearse this. So when you do this, you are also going to be confident because you already are used to answering such questions. You know, so this is another way you can actually answer, be confident, you know, build confidence going into your interview. The very next one is you want to have a strategy in place on how you answer a question, a difficult question. You know, so when a question is being asked and you are not able to answer them, you want to have, you don't, because you know, obviously, when you go for an interview, it's just like any exam. You cannot predict what will be asked, but in this case, you want to have a strategy in place on how you go about it. You don't want to look dumbfounded. You don't want to look blank. You know, so this is actually not good. So, if such a question is asked, I mentioned this in a video I posted yesterday, I think, or today, where I said one of those things you could do is to ask a follow-up question. You know, you want to say, oh, or you just give a scenario that is related. You know, so then asking question to get to know where how you can get a clue. You know, so this is, you can do that. Another thing you can do, the second thing you can, another option you have is to tell the interviewer that that question is not quite clear to you, but you think if you be given the opportunity to answer that question later on in the interview, that you would love to defer that question to, you know, the end of the interview. You know, so you could do that. This will give you some time to process the answer in your mind. You know, so another one, which I don't know, you might not really be the ideal one, is to say you don't know, or you may not even say you don't know. What you could say is that you really cannot, you know, put the answer together at the time, but if you be given the opportunity to you know, to make more research about that, and you can always answer them. You know, so you email the answer to them. You know, you make research after the interview and all that. So you could do that as well. So these are options that you have in answering. So you must actually prepare for that. The fact that you may come across a question you might not be able to answer, and you should have on ground a strategy to tackle that. That's very important. The next one is that you have to be positive. You have to believe in yourself. You go into the interview with the mindset that you are going to come out successful. You are going to get the job, you know, like that. So you don't want to be negative about the outcome. You don't want to feel like, oh, you're not going to get it and all that, or you are not qualified enough. No. So because for you to have been invited in the first place, it means that you are qualified, you know, based on what you have written. So if an interviewer have called you for an interview, it simply means that they have seen in your write-up, in your application, that you're qualified. So it is now dependent on your performance for you to be given the job. So going into the interview with the mindset that you are the right candidate, and this actually works. So show some smiling face. You know, you don't just want to appear too serious or too mean, and you know, so you want to show some smiling and all that while the interview is ongoing. And the last one here is prepare minimum of 3 questions that you want to ask. You know, as the interview is going on, let that question be the one that would elicit some answer that shows that you actually care about the organization. You would notice that the first part of your interview was questioned just about you. You know, the interviewer is just asking about you. So when the interview is being concluded, and you are also given the opportunity to ask questions, so that is the time, that is the second phase of the interview, where you want to also ask further clarification, where you want to know more about the company and things like that. So you don't want to ruin that chance of not asking question when you are being presented that opportunity to ask question. So you want to ask question about the organization. You want to say, okay, what is the working condition in your organization? Like what is the review of employee in the organization? You just want to ask questions that will make them to further tell you more about the company, the work environment, and many more. So these are what you want to do. One of the questions that I've actually asked in the past is, what will you want me to focus on in the first 30 days of my resumption of duty if given this job? So this question actually work. One of those questions you want to ask is, what is the work culture in your organization? You want to ask questions that will make them to begin to explain things to you about the organization, and this is what you want to do. I'll stop it there. Put in the comment section, let's see what your opinion are about this confidence building for your interview. I wish you all the best in your next interview. Share this video to, click on the share button so that the video can get to other people, and like and comment. Thank you. I see you in my next video.